I know what it feels like to be caught up in a cycle of distractions, wondering where the time went and feeling like you're just drifting. But today, that changes. Today, we take back control. It won't be easy, it's going to challenge you, but the rewards will be worth every ounce of effort. You'll gain clarity, focus, and a renewed sense of fulfillment as you start building the life you've always known you're capable of living. But before we jump in, I want to ask you to take one small action right now. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss content designed to help you unlock your best self. This journey we're about to take is life-changing, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single step. In this video, I'm going to guide you through a real transformation. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just a step-by-step plan that's grounded in reality. This isn't about quick fixes or temporary changes. What we're talking about today is reclaiming your time, your energy, and your purpose. It's about rediscovering what matters most and creating a life that reflects your deepest values. Let's dive in together, and by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to begin transforming your life, starting now. Have you ever stopped to think about how much time you've lost to distractions? Not the kind of distractions that just interrupt your day, but the kind that slowly drain the life out of your goals and dreams, without you even realizing it. Time, once lost, never returns. Yet, we let the clock tick by, distracted, consumed by things that hold no real value in the grander scheme of life. Here's the hard truth. Every minute you waste is a minute you're giving away to mediocrity. You say you want success, happiness, fulfillment, yet where does your time go? Into endless scrolling, meaningless conversations, and fleeting distractions that do nothing but delay the life you're meant to live. Does it feel like you're losing precious moments without realizing how much they've cost you? And what's the cost? It's not just the hours lost. It's the opportunity cost of what you could have become. The version of yourself that could have written that book, built that career, created meaningful relationships, or changed the world in your own way. But instead, you're stuck, drifting through life, letting distractions rob you of the one thing you can never get back: time. If you don't stop now, you'll wake up one day and wonder where your life went. You'll wonder how the dreams you once had slipped away, how the goals you set for yourself never materialized. It's a slow, insidious process. One moment you're telling yourself, "I'll get to it tomorrow," and before you know it, a year has passed, and you're no closer to the life you want than you were before. Distractions are not just annoyances, they are a thief. And what they steal from you isn't just time, but the essence of who you could have been. They're like tiny drops of water wearing down the rock of your ambition, one moment at a time, until one day you realize you're hollow, empty, no closer to living the life you once dreamed of than you were years ago. So ask yourself this: how much longer are you willing to wait? How many more moments will you let slip through your fingers, hoping that somehow one day things will magically change? Because here's the truth: nothing changes until you do. You can't wait for the perfect moment, the right circumstances, or some external force to rescue you from the grip of distraction. You have to take control. You have to decide that enough is enough. Picture this: your life, free from the constant pull of distractions. Waking up each day with clarity, with a plan, with the kind of focus that drives you toward something real, something meaningful. Imagine the person you could become if you reclaimed all those lost hours and poured them into the pursuit of your goals, your purpose. That's the life waiting for you, if you're willing to stop letting distractions win. The question is, will you? But here's the thing. I didn't just stumble upon this realization by chance. No, it took me 30 days of deep, uncomfortable self-reflection to finally understand how distractions had their claws in me. 30 days of deliberately stripping away every time waster, every excuse, every little comfort that kept me from facing the truth. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy. It was raw, it was messy, and at times it felt like I was losing my mind. But those 30 days changed everything. What I discovered wasn't just some quick fix productivity hack. It wasn't a cute app or a new schedule. It was a shift in how I approached my entire life. You see, overcoming distractions isn't about controlling your environment. It's about mastering your mind. It's about understanding why you let distractions control you in the first place. Could you imagine doing this for yourself? What would 30 days of discipline and focus do for your life? And that's what I want to share with you. I'm not here to give you a temporary fix. I'm here to show you the real way out, the strategy that will help you reclaim your time, your focus, and your life. But you've got to stay with me, because what I'm about to share is the wake-up call you've been ignoring. The question is, will you take it? Let me take you back to a time not too long ago when I was caught in a trap that honestly, I didn't even realize I had set for myself. From the outside, my life looked fine: successful career, decent social life, and all the busyness that's supposed to mean you're doing well. But on the inside, I felt stuck, unmotivated, and frustrated with myself. I had big dreams, goals that had been swirling around in my head for years, but they never moved off the page. Why? Because I was always distracted. Distraction had become my default. It wasn't just that I couldn't focus. It was that I had let my life get so cluttered with trivial things that I couldn't even find my way back to what really mattered. Emails, texts, mindless browsing. They were like little fires constantly pulling my attention. I knew I was capable of more, but I couldn't seem to break free. One day, I had a moment that hit me like a freight train. I remember looking at my calendar, seeing another month gone by and realizing I was in exactly the same place I had been a year ago. Nothing had changed. I was busy, sure, but I wasn't moving forward. I was on a treadmill, running hard but not going anywhere. And that was the day I decided enough was enough. I didn't just need more focus, I needed a reset, a way to strip down my life to the essentials and rebuild from a place of clarity and purpose. So, I designed a 30-day challenge for myself. 30 days to cut the noise and get back to the core of who I wanted to be. And here's the truth. I wasn't just battling distraction. I was battling myself. The part of me that feared change. The part that used distractions as a way to avoid facing the uncomfortable truth. I had become the obstacle to my own progress. Those first few days were tough. I was agitated, restless. My mind was screaming for its usual dopamine hits from checking my phone, emails, or social feeds. But I stayed the course. I set boundaries. I turned off notifications. I blocked out time for deep work. And most importantly, I confronted the habits that had led me down this path in the first place. By the second week, things began to shift. The fog lifted. I could think clearly again, for the first time in a long time. It wasn't just about cutting distractions. It was about discovering the power of intentional living. I began to ask myself, what really matters? What are the things that will move the needle on my goals? And here's the real kicker. Once I cleared the clutter, I started to see opportunities that had been right in front of me the whole time, buried under the noise. By the end of the 30 days, I wasn't the same person. I didn't just have more time. I had more direction, more purpose. I felt in control of my life again, like I was steering the ship instead of just going wherever the current took me. So what changed? It wasn't just about turning off distractions. It was about reclaiming my focus and, more importantly, my life. Because here's the thing. Distractions aren't just a symptom. They're a choice. Every time we let them pull us off course, we're choosing to stay stuck. But when you take that first step toward focus, toward intentional action, you'll realize something powerful. You were never truly stuck. You just needed the right tools to break free. And now I want you to take that step with me. Because if I can break free from the cycle of distractions, you can too. This isn't just about productivity. It's about transforming your life from the inside out. Are you ready? Distractions aren't just small interruptions. They're like invisible roadblocks standing between you and your goals. You might think you're only checking one quick notification or responding to a short email, but before you know it, hours have passed, and your most important tasks are still sitting there untouched. That's the true trap of distractions. They sneak up on you, chipping away at your productivity bit by bit. We all start our day with the best of intentions, don't we? We have a plan, goals to accomplish. Yet by the end of the day, we often feel like we've gotten nowhere. And it's not because we didn't have enough time, but because our time was drained by things that simply didn't matter. Whether it's mindlessly scrolling through social media, watching random videos, or getting caught up in trivial tasks that seem urgent but really aren't, distractions keep us busy, but not productive. But here's the real danger. It's not just about wasted time. It's about the creeping feeling of being stuck, of weeks and even months passing without real progress. Every distraction pulls you further away from your goals, leaving you frustrated and wondering why things aren't changing. That feeling of stagnation can be overwhelming. At first, I thought the answer was simple. Just focus harder. Today, I'm going to ignore all distractions and power through, I'd tell myself. But let's face it, distractions are everywhere. The more I tried to fight them, the more mentally drained I became. By the end of the day, I wasn't just distracted, I was exhausted. It was like fighting a losing battle, and willpower alone wasn't enough. That's when I had a realization. I wasn't just battling distractions, I was battling deeply ingrained habits. Every time I gave in to a distraction, I was reinforcing the cycle. Breaking that cycle wasn't about resisting distractions harder. It was about changing how I approached my entire day. Instead of focusing on resisting distractions, I began asking myself why I was getting distracted in the first place. Was I bored? Was the task too overwhelming? Was I avoiding something difficult? These weren't random distractions, they were signals that something deeper was going on. Once I understood that, I could make real changes. I didn't just fight distractions, I redesigned my day to prevent them. I turned off notifications. I broke big tasks into smaller, manageable steps to make them less intimidating. And I allowed myself intentional breaks so I wasn't constantly seeking an escape while working. Distractions didn't disappear overnight, but I regained control of my time. Slowly but surely, I got better at noticing when I was slipping into distraction mode and pulling myself back before losing too much time. When I realized how much distractions were hijacking my life, I knew I needed something more than a quick fix. I needed a radical change. That's when I committed to a 30-day challenge. This wasn't a temporary hack or another short-lived productivity tip. It was an all-in transformation. Why 30 days? Because it's long enough to form lasting habits, but short enough to maintain focus. I didn't just want to get through a month. I wanted to fundamentally change how I handled distractions and manage my focus in the long run. The challenge wasn't just about removing distractions. It was about going deeper and understanding why I kept letting them control my time. Was it the endless pull of notifications? The mindless scroll through social media? Or was it something deeper, like the fear of failing or avoiding hard tasks that felt overwhelming? I designed a structured plan. No more aimless scrolling, no more unnecessary multitasking. Instead, I created an environment that forced me to approach my day with intention. It wasn't just about testing my willpower. It was about rewiring my habits, rebuilding my priorities, and taking back control of how I spent my time. It wasn't always easy. Some days were tough, and breaking old habits wasn't comfortable. But that's where the real growth happened. By fully committing to this 30-day challenge, I discovered practical strategies to sharpen my focus, build better routines, and most importantly, regain a sense of control over my life. By the time I hit the end of those 30 days, I realized something life-changing. Regaining control of my focus wasn't just about cutting things out. It was about creating a sustainable plan. I needed a structure that I could stick to, even when life threw curveballs. That's where the real work began, figuring out exactly how to make this shift permanent, not just a short-lived experiment. The key to success? a solid, clear-cut approach. This challenge wasn't just about trying to stay off my phone or shutting down distractions. It was about resetting the way I lived my day-to-day life, building habits that would stick long after the 30 days were over. So let me break down exactly how I did it, step by step. This isn't some complicated system. It's practical and straightforward, designed to fit into everyday life. Whether you're juggling work, family, or personal projects, this plan is all about making sure your attention is where it needs to be, when it needs to be there. There comes a point when you realize that life isn't about waiting for the right moment, it's about creating it. For too long, I found myself stuck in the same routines, endlessly distracted and frustrated with the lack of progress. It wasn't just about having big dreams, it was about the constant feeling that time was slipping away and I wasn't living up to my full potential. I needed more than just another quick fix or motivational quote. I needed something that would fundamentally shift how I approached each day. That's when I decided to commit to a 30-day challenge. It wasn't going to be easy. No change worth making ever is. But I was determined to take control of my habits, my mindset, and my future. The challenge wasn't just about cutting out the distractions. It was about building a new routine that would help me reclaim my time, focus, and energy. I crafted this challenge with one goal in mind: to break through the patterns that were holding me back and create lasting, meaningful change. And here's the thing: this isn't just about me. If you're ready to take charge of your life, this challenge can be your blueprint. The next 30 days could be the start of something transformative, but only if you're willing to commit to it fully. So, grab a notebook, because you're going to need it. It's time to map out your own 30-day journey. Let's make this the moment you stop waiting for change and start creating it. I wake up each morning with a clear vision of what I want to accomplish, not just for the day, but for the entire 30 days. This isn't some vague daydream. I see it clearly, as if it's already happening. I imagine the sense of accomplishment and pride I'll feel once I've hit my targets. That mental image fuels me, even on the days when motivation is running low. It's not about hope. It's about making it real. And this visualization process turns the distant future into something I can touch right now. Before jumping into my day, I take a moment to reflect on what's good in my life. It's so easy to get bogged down by stress and negativity, but gratitude pulls me out of that mindset. Every morning, I jot down 3 things I'm thankful for, and it immediately shifts how I approach everything else. At the end of the day, I make time to reflect on how things went. I take 10 minutes to write down what worked, what didn't, and what I can do better tomorrow. This isn't about writing pages of thoughts. It's about staying accountable to myself. Journaling helps me track my progress and adjust my course when necessary. It's the ultimate tool for self-awareness, keeping me grounded and honest about where I am and where I'm headed. Seeing my wins and areas for improvement laid out on paper makes the journey feel real and keeps me moving forward with intention. I knew I couldn't do this alone. One of the smartest things I did was partner up with a friend who was also working towards self-improvement. We checked in with each other daily. Sometimes it was a quick text, other times a longer conversation. Knowing someone else was invested in my success pushed me to stay on track. It wasn't just about personal discipline anymore. It became a mutual commitment. The days when I felt like giving up, I remembered that someone else was counting on me, and that made all the difference. Exercise became the cornerstone of my routine. Every day, whether it was a quick run, some strength training, or yoga, moving my body sharpened my mind. The physical energy I gained from working out translated directly into mental clarity. I found myself more focused, more productive, and in a better mood after every session. It wasn't just about staying in shape. It was about taking control of my mind and body. Exercise gave me the strength and resilience to handle whatever the day threw at me. Each day, I dedicated an hour to learning something new. Podcasts, audiobooks, or reading, it didn't matter what form it took, as long as I was growing. This wasn't about filling time. It was about challenging myself to evolve. By the end of the 30 days, learning became a daily habit, a non-negotiable part of my routine. The more I invested in myself, the more empowered I felt to take on new challenges. Growth isn't just a goal, it's a way of life. Sunday became my day to plan out the week ahead. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by all that needed to be done, I broke everything down into smaller, actionable steps. This weekly planning session gave me control over my time and eliminated the stress of not knowing where to start. Each day had a purpose, and by sticking to the plan, I was able to stay on track and avoid getting sidetracked by distractions. Mindfulness became my secret weapon against the chaos of daily life. Every day I set aside 10 minutes for meditation. At first, it felt impossible to sit still when my mind was racing, but the more I practiced, the more I saw the benefits. Meditation gave me clarity, helping me clear out the mental clutter and focus on what truly mattered. It wasn't just about finding calm, it was about taking control of my thoughts and emotions so that I could tackle the day with a clear, focused mind. One of the biggest changes I made was cutting out social media in the afternoons. From 1 to 6 p.m., I went on a strict social media blackout. Without the distractions of constant notifications, I found that my afternoons became my most productive hours. I was able to dive deep into my work and get more done than I ever thought possible. This wasn't just about avoiding distractions, it was about reclaiming my time and focus, and the difference was life-changing. Short breaks throughout the day became crucial to keeping my energy up. Every couple of hours, I'd take 5 minutes to stretch and move my body. It wasn't about getting in a workout, it was about resetting my mind and keeping myself sharp. These quick breaks helped me avoid burnout and allowed me to stay focused and productive for longer stretches. Sometimes, a small pause is all you need to come back stronger. Around lunchtime, I'd take 15 to 20 minutes to disconnect. No phone, no tasks, just time to breathe and reset. This midday break wasn't about taking a break from work. It was about recharging so that I could come back even more focused. It was my way of ensuring that I could power through the rest of the day with renewed energy. Cold showers became a test of mental toughness. At first, they were brutal, but over time, I started to see them as a way to build resilience. If I could handle that discomfort first thing in the morning, the rest of the day felt easier by comparison. Cold showers weren't just about waking up. They were about proving to myself that I could push through discomfort and come out stronger on the other side. I also committed to eating clean for the full 30 days. No junk food, no cheat meals, just nutritious, balanced meals that fueled my body and mind. The result was a steady energy level throughout the day, and my mental clarity improved as well. What I ate directly impacted how I performed, both physically and mentally. Clean eating became a key part of maintaining control over my energy and focus. In the evenings, I made it a point to wind down properly. By 9 p.m., I turned off all screens and took time to relax. Whether it was reading or stretching, this evening routine helped me transition smoothly from a busy day to restful sleep. Ending the day with intention ensured that I woke up feeling refreshed and ready to take on whatever the next day had in store. This wasn't just a temporary change. The habits I built during this challenge have become a permanent part of my life. I'm not just more productive, I'm more in control. And now, I'm challenging you to take this step too. Grab a notebook, start mapping out your own 30-day plan, and commit to making these changes today. This isn't about a quick fix, it's about creating a future where you're in charge of your time, your focus, and your success. As I reflect on those 30 days, the impact it had on my life was profound, and not just in the ways you might expect. It wasn't just about getting more done, though that was a part of it. The real change came from the mental clarity and sense of purpose I regained. When you strip away distractions and focus deeply on what matters, something shifts. You start to see the world differently. It's like you're no longer living in a fog. Everything becomes clearer, sharper, and more meaningful. What surprised me the most was how much time I actually had. We often tell ourselves that we're too busy, but the truth is we waste so much of our time on things that don't matter. Once I stopped letting distractions dictate my day, I realized how much more I could accomplish in less time. I wasn't just busy, I was productive. There's a big difference between the two, and understanding that distinction changed everything. Now, as someone who has helped others build their own 30-day plans, I can tell you this. The results will vary, but the underlying principles remain the same. The key is consistency and intention. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. You don't have to get it right every day, but you do have to keep showing up. Over time, those small, consistent actions lead to big changes. One of the biggest insights I've gained from both my own experience and helping others is that it's not just about managing time, it's about managing energy. You can have all the time in the world, but if your energy is scattered, you won't make meaningful progress. That's why things like exercise, mindfulness, and taking intentional breaks are so crucial. They help you stay centered and focused, so when it's time to work, you can bring your full attention to the task at hand. Another key insight? You need to get comfortable with discomfort. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. Those moments when you feel like giving up, when the distractions seem overwhelming, that's where the real work happens. It's in those moments that you're building the mental resilience to stay the course. That's why pushing through the discomfort of things like cold showers or early morning workouts isn't just about physical toughness. It's about training your mind to handle adversity. But here's the thing. This kind of transformation doesn't happen overnight. The impact of these 30 days will carry far beyond the challenge itself. It's about building habits that last. The real magic happens when the 30 days are over, and you realize that you're not just surviving anymore, you're thriving. You've rewired your habits, your mindset, and the way you approach each day. That's when you start to see the long-term effects, and trust me, it's worth every bit of effort. I've worked with people who have completely transformed their lives by committing to this process. They've gone from feeling overwhelmed and stuck to finding clarity and direction in both their personal and professional lives. The common thread? They decided that enough was enough. They took control of their time, their habits, and ultimately, their future. If there's one takeaway from this challenge, it's that you have more power than you realize. We often feel like we're at the mercy of our schedules, our responsibilities, or the endless stream of notifications vying for our attention. But the truth is, you have the ability to choose. You can choose where to put your focus, you can choose how to spend your time, and you can choose to prioritize what really matters. So as you prepare to embark on your own 30-day journey, I want you to remember this. It's not about getting it perfect, it's about committing to the process. The impact will come, and with it, the insights that will guide you far beyond these 30 days. But it all starts with a choice. Will you take control of your life, or will you keep letting distractions steal your time and potential? Have you ever felt like you're constantly running but getting nowhere? Like your days are slipping through your fingers, and despite your best intentions, your goals remain distant, untouched? It's frustrating, isn't it? You wake up, thinking today is the day you'll finally make progress, but by the time the evening rolls around, that nagging feeling hits you again. You didn't really move the needle on what truly matters. It's something we all experience, distracted, pulled in every direction. But here's a hard truth I had to face myself. Every minute you spend distracted is a minute you'll never get back. It's easy to say, I'll get to it tomorrow. But how often do those tomorrows keep slipping away? Weeks, months, and even years can pass without significant progress. And before you know it, the life you envisioned remains nothing more than a distant dream. At some point, I asked myself the question, why does this keep happening? Why am I stuck in this endless loop of distractions, feeling like I'm working hard but never truly getting anywhere? It took some deep reflection, but I realized something crucial. It's not just the distractions themselves, it's how we allow them to control our lives, to steal our focus, and ultimately, our time. Now imagine if you could take back control. What if I told you that there's a way to stop wasting time, to start living each day with intention and purpose, and to finally begin making real progress toward the life you want? I'm not here to give you another motivational speech. I'm here to share a real, actionable plan, something that has helped me and can help you as well. And if you're willing to stay with me for just a bit longer, I'll show you exactly how. Before diving into the how, let's talk about what distractions are really costing you. Think about how much time you lose each day to aimlessly scrolling through social media, jumping between tasks, or letting endless notifications interrupt your flow. When you add it up, it's probably more than you think. But the problem isn't just the time you lose, it's the energy that gets drained. Distractions don't just take away minutes. They rob you of your focus, your creativity, and your momentum. It's like spinning your wheels in place, always feeling busy but never truly productive. That was my life for years. I always felt like I was doing something, but nothing seemed to matter. I wasn't getting closer to my goals, and I knew deep down that I was capable of so much more. But no matter how hard I tried to push through, willpower alone wasn't enough. I needed something stronger, a system that would help me regain control of my time and attention. That's when I committed to a structured 30-day challenge to reset my habits and focus my energy. The first few days were tough, no way around it. When you cut out distractions cold turkey, it's like you're suddenly left alone with your own thoughts. At first, it felt isolating. I had relied on the constant noise, emails, notifications, social media, to fill the quiet. Without them, I had to confront my own habits, my own procrastination. And it wasn't easy. I felt unproductive and agitated. I wasn't used to the silence, and it made me uncomfortable. But here's the thing. Discomfort is where growth happens. I had to push through those first days, and eventually something started to shift. I realized that being busy doesn't mean being productive. My constant activity wasn't leading me anywhere because I wasn't focused on the right things. Once I accepted that, everything began to change. With the distractions cut out, I found myself thinking more clearly. My energy, which used to be scattered across dozens of small tasks, was now focused on what truly mattered. I started getting more done, not because I was working harder, but because I was working smarter. I wasn't constantly switching between things, and that deep focus led to a level of satisfaction I hadn't felt in years. It was more than just productivity. It was about feeling in control of my life again. But it wasn't just about cutting out the noise. As the challenge progressed, I started digging deeper into why I allowed distractions to take over in the first place. Was it because I was bored, afraid of failure, avoiding tasks that felt too big or overwhelming? I realized that distractions weren't just happening. They were a symptom of something deeper. By confronting those underlying issues, I began to understand my motivations on a much deeper level. That's when the real transformation happened. I wasn't just avoiding distractions anymore. I was actively creating a new routine, one where I was in control of my time, my energy, and my focus. I had more clarity than I had in years, and it wasn't just because I was cutting out the bad habits. It was because I was making conscious choices about how I spent my time. And that's what I want you to take away from this. The power to change isn't just about avoiding distractions. It's about reclaiming your focus and deciding what really matters in your life. Now, if any of this resonates with you, I have a challenge for you. Don't wait. Don't wait for tomorrow or next week or when you feel ready. The perfect time to start is now. Grab a notebook and start writing down what's been holding you back. Identify the distractions that are stealing your time and energy. Then, commit to making one small change today. It could be turning off notifications for an hour, blocking out time for deep work, or simply taking a break from social media. The key is to start. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the idea of changing everything at once, but real change happens one small step at a time. And once you take that first step, you'll start to see how much more you can accomplish. The clarity, the focus, and the satisfaction that comes from living with intention, it's all within your reach. So what's it going to be? Will you keep letting distractions control your life, or will you take that first step toward reclaiming your time and focus? The choice is yours, and the opportunity is right in front of you. But remember, it all starts with one simple decision: to take control. The road ahead won't always be easy, but the rewards will be worth every moment of effort. The focused, fulfilling life you've always wanted is just 30 days away. Now is the time. Start this journey today. This isn't just about productivity, it's about reclaiming your life. Don't let another day slip by. Embrace the discomfort, commit to the challenge, and watch how your life begins to shift in ways you never thought possible. The road ahead won't always be easy, but the rewards will be worth every moment of effort. The focused, fulfilling life you've always wanted is just 30 days away. Your future self will thank you for taking this step today. The only question left is, are you ready to take control?